They'll be calling you a radical. This is one of the coolest places in the world. And by the way, getting it federally protected through the watershed is probably the most exciting thing that's happened in Utah in 30 years. I'm so glad this happened. It's so powerful. Now, the reason I'm up here today is the bald eagles migrate from Alaska, not just on the edge of the Great Salt Lake. They come up here. This is Hennifer, Utah, which is one gem of a place on this earth. And, you know, this is my place. This is my spiritual home. This is my native spirit. Right there where I climbed up in the rocks and was the very first guy to video where you could see where they pointed their guns down in the rocks to hold off John. That's my great-grandma. I am Ike. And boy, the reason Ike Potter was able to survive was because he spoke 5 tribes' languages. And yeah, he had squaws too. And they slit his throat right over there and blood atoned him. But not the natives, the Mormons. But he was a Mormon. But my native spirit, I was raised by the Navajos in so many ways. My mother, the teacher at the Intermountain Indian School, I was so in symphony with my environment, and the natives taught me, my family taught me to be in symphony with the environment, the birds, God's symphony. And so I'm up here, they come up here and they fly and they fish for the whitefish along the river right here. They migrate from Alaska by the many dozens. Now you saw my video, I went out and I'm keeping track of how many are out there. 15, Russ said, and he's the shit, he knows. When there's a colony of 1,000 is what we usually get here. Now, not only that, the nest on top of the cottonwoods right there, that's a colony of blue herons. And I come up here every spring and they're spectacular watching those magnificent creatures. This is the first time I've ever seen a blue heron here this time of year. He's right there. I don't know if you can see him, but he's standing right there. He's right there. You know, a flock of geese right here. But this is very exciting, but it's very sad. I've been up here 6 times now. I've walked the whole thing this winter. And I know when she says it's her, no, I know the heart. The highest peak day is January 15th. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm in symphony with my environment and I know my path, my organic. I'm like an organic mutated sunflower in the wind. I understand that. And I've always understood that my whole life. These decisions on my path, where I'm going to go and my activism, I haven't made those decisions. I just go, you know. It's where the wind blows. It's where the water flows. That's who I am. I've always lived that way. It's like my mom says, you know, you got a bunch of girls chasing you when you're young, you know, and you're something, you're a piece of work. She would say, well, which one are you on? I says, whichever one picks me up first, you know. Really? Yep. That's the way I've always lived my life. I'm in symphony with my environment. I've always been in symphony with my environment. And I know that the birds are the marker. I've always listened to my native spirit, my wolf spirit, you know, my native friends, the strong ones. I'm native. As I was at Flood Wall Street, the greatest parade in human history, 450,000 people, well, American history anyway. It was magnificent, it was grand, no media coverage. I watched the whole parade. They says, you can go to the front of the parade, Kevin, if you're native. I says, oh, I'm native. I was born here on this landscape, and I don't believe in countries and borders and state lines. I don't believe in that shit. I believe in the environment, period. Period. As my aunt, who's still alive, she says, Kevin, the Creator gave you Ike's spirit. And I could prove all this. I'm in critical condition, and no one had ever videoed where the rocks are piled up. And I'd read that as a boy. You could still see it. Nobody could find it. Nobody could find it. I hiked up on Easter for a very good reason. And I videoed it, and I didn't know this till later. The guy who took the first photograph of it, which I worked off of, and I found up there in the rocks, he left a marker, and I put it back because it had fallen off, and then I left a little marker too. He was the guy that killed his great-grandfather, killed my great-great-grandfather. And so she says, you've captured Ike's spirit. Ike spoke 5 tribes' languages. The Utes were powerful right here. This is a very sacred, hallowed praise to the natives right here. And the eagle's a very big piece of it. There's 2 of them sitting right there in the tree. There's usually dozens. Now, last year, we found 86 dead eagles along the edge of the lake. 86. And they weren't just dying, they were staggering dying. They were obviously poisoned. toxicology reports, and they tried to say it was West Nile, which, by the way, they backed off that now. And they say they by eating the dead grebes. Now, the dead grebes crashed in 2011 in massive at Dugway. I want people to understand this. Dugway killed them. And Dugway knows they killed them. What happened? What's Dugway? Dugway's the chemical experiment out there, right? Just west of Salt Lake City. They're experimenting with shit. Now, they're doing what they call Operation Jackrabbit, Operation London Fog. They announced it to the public because of people like me. They didn't want to announce it to the public. They did not want. I want people to understand they were forced to announce this to the public, and not by KSL, who are terrorists. They've gone along with the raping of this earth. And all of you people that have gone along with the... Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. See him? See him? How beautiful is he? He just flew out of the trees. The one's in the tree, and there he goes. He come to see what we were up to. Wow, how beautiful are those creatures. They're amazing creatures. Really amazing. Their legs. So, Operation London Fog, they, in 1968, lied their ass off when they had the experiment and they killed so many people. They're still doing it. They've gone mad. So what happened? I could guarantee it. I could prove all this. They had a fucking accident, and it killed all the grebes. They had another the same accident, killed the eagle. Blame it on eating the fucking dead grebes? Bullshit. The toxin, fucking experimental gas, killed the eagles. You saw them staggering. That was fucking acute. I don't want to hear these chronic causes. Oh, the environmental poison over a long period of time, that's chronic. Just like fucking leukemia. I got chronic. Smoke some more weed and go watch cartoons on Fox News. No, like me. Acute leukemia in my body. 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 Acute death to the eagles. The fucking Pacific Ocean is dying. It's fucking dying. Hello, you fucking screenshotting asshole sitting up in your fucking basement. Want to argue with me? And I'll tell you, oh, the spirits are with me. And I can prove that the spirits are with me. Those angels and those fucking historical spirits, because I'm in symphony. I fight for her, she fights for me. I fight for the eagles, they fight for me. I fight for the grebes, they fight for me. I fight for the mighty blue Pacific, they fight for me. I fight for the dolphins, they fight for me. I fight for the fucking starfish, they fight for me. You fight against them, for your soul will be sucked into a black hole for time and all eternity. That's the way it is. You arrogant rape artist fuckers that rape this fucking earth for your personal gain, for you have enough. You've been given enough, but you take more than your share. When I was a boy, I grew up on this ranch. We killed an animal. It was a very spiritual thing. I grew up fishing right here, the biggest browns in the world right here. You ate one of those fish, we would bottle them, slice them. It was a very spiritual, romantic thing, and you ate it all. We used to save the fish cheeks and have a party, a very ceremonial party, you know. We're all natives. We were born here on this landscape and this place. They had an accident out there that killed all the eagles. And I'm here to tell you, they're not back. For the first time in my life, in 54 years, I've been here for 54 years on this river. You know, the river runs through me. By the way, I have that couch that came out of that fucking movie in my house. Boy, does the river run through me. And the Great Salt Lake. I fucking lived on those marshes. I mean, you want to talk probably the most incredible ecosystem, maybe, you know, the Central Coast Valley of California more. I'm going to do my walk now on start 3/11/15, 4th anniversary at Diablo Canyon. I'm going to walk, I guess, north the way it looks. San Francisco, for some very good reasons. Now, I got a call last night, and this is the third person who's called from that area. These are people that I know, that are photographers and artists, and they're salt of the earth, born and raised in California, up and down the coast, and this is all they do. They've been really watching the sky, the water, the plant life there. Hardcore, you know, and this is the third one. Photographer told me, he says, we're getting this weird looking film that's coming out now. And, you know, Lori can confirm that, Sayonara Kitty, the greatest icon that anybody ever dreamed up, you know, as we caught the green flash, but something more is happening. They're catching on their film now, on their photography, this, you know, kind of pinkish looking film that they've never seen before. And these are photographers who've been down there forever. They're not just seeing it in the sky now, they're seeing it on the water. And they're seeing it in the plants showing up in their film. And this is the third person that's told me that down there. You know, Fuktonium, we don't know what's kind of synergistic effects of being created from the nuclear meltdown at FukUshima, Japan. It's nuclear fission. It's never happened before. You know, and by the way, this study that's coming in at Coos Bay, this Ken Bucket Fuck Buesler's, you know, the half-life, 2.5 years half-life. Remember, they're only checking for 134 and 137 cesium, which we know is from Fukushima. 137, not the very, and then the half-life's only 2.5 years. It's 4 years going on. Wow. What about plutonium 239, 230? What about fuktonium? You know, we don't know. You know, I've tapped into my conscious when I got cancer. I had a dream before I got cancer. This crazy dream, and I held on to that dream, and my doctors have held on this dream. And I've done this. I'm healing, you know, not just myself. I'm trying to heal in symphony with my environment. And you can say, well, it's my wolf spirit. And this path and this journey I've ran truly on pure spirituality, or whatever the creator there be. You know, and my native roots, oh boy, the Navajos that I grew up, raised me, they were so beautiful. The chief, you know, they blessed me when I was a boy. They're beautiful, perfect long hair, boys and girls. I don't know if you've ever been around those Navajos in those days, which that culture's been destroyed now too. They were the most beautiful people on ever. I mean, men, women, I mean, they would do their dances at Peach Days along the freaking parade. There's footage out there, you know. Willard Library, which, by the way, Jay Willard and my grandma were freaking best friends. Grew up together. They hijacked his legacy, too. That's what they do. They do because they're so arrogant. They try to rewrite history. This history's long, and it's deep, and it's stoic. And we're destroying it. I'm fucking telling you, this is dramatic. 2 eagles. Usually dozens in here. Russ himself, who's been on the frickin' Farmington Bay for decades. 3 behind my house last night when there's usually dozens. 15 when there's over 1,000. 86 dead ones we found. Staggering died. 86. In a very acute way. Just died. These are hardy, amazing creatures. They don't just fucking die. My guess is over 300. That's the ones we found. It's fucking sad news. You guys don't want to pay attention to fucking the reality? When you get fucking cancer and die and the doctor tells you, oh, it's acute, I'm sorry, there's nothing else to do, you know, your arrogance, oh, there's a cure for, no, there's not. And life's very short, and it's a test. And your souls are going to get sucked into a black hole for time and all eternity, you fucking rape artists. I fight for her, she fights for me. Stay tuned.